is the Debt Professor, and I just wanted to go over why I am downgrading debt settlement companies for the year 2010 and beyond. I've recommended settlement companies to people in the past, and there are still a couple good companies out there. However, because of some recent regulation that's going on, I don't really think it would be a wise decision to join a debt settlement company right now. And the reason for that is because Charles Schumer and Claire McCaskill. Charles Schumer is a senator for New York. They're trying to pass a bill that has the intent of cleaning up the debt settlement industry. And there's going to be some good and bad that comes from that, and this video is basically just going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly real quick so you have a better idea of why I'm recommending not to join a settlement program, and which doesn't mean you can't get help in that arena. It just means there's a couple things that you want to look out for. So the good that's going to come from the bill is that the debt settlement industry has been unregulated for way too long. And basically there's been no regulation, so anybody and everybody could go out and start up a debt settlement company. And a lot of those people who did that were the mortgage brokers from back in the day when everybody was doing mortgages, and all these mortgage brokers were going out of business. They were looking for a new business model, and a lot of them jumped over to the debt settlement industry because there was a very low barrier to entry. So this will help get rid of a lot of those companies. A lot of those companies didn't really know what they were doing. They couldn't really satisfy the contracts that they were creating, and they said a lot of stuff that was not really true or legal when they were trying to close business. So that should lead to fewer horror stories, and it should actually probably lead to better disclosures. But if you have a good company right now, even if they are a debt settlement company, a good company is going to give you all of the disclosures. They're going to tell you what the risks are as far as tax implications, whether or not you can get sued, things of that nature. So any good company is already doing the disclosures, but hopefully the legislation will get rid of a couple companies that are not doing very good disclosures, and it might actually wind up putting a limit on caps and fees that these companies can charge. Industry average right now is around 15%. And some companies are actually going way overboard with that. Some companies are charging 20%. Some companies, are already doing a contingency fee. It depends on who you go with and how much you're willing to pay. But 15% right now is average. I don't think it's excessive, as long as you're with a good company who does what they say they can do. Now, the bad that's going to come out of this is a lot of companies are going to go out of business. Which, if they're all the bad companies, that's not a bad thing. But there's still some good debt settlement companies out there that might actually go out of business, because part of what this law is enforcing is that no fees can be collected up front if you're in a debt settlement company. So what they're basically doing is they're forcing these companies to go for probably somewhere around 5 to 8 months without revenue. Now, cash flow is king in any business, and there's very few companies out there without outside investors that can survive for 5 to 8 months without any type of cash flow coming in. So some of the good and the bad guys are going to get hurt with that, and what that means is the consumers who are currently in debt settlement programs, they're at risk. What happens to them if their company goes under? They're in a program that they're trying to handle their debt, they're trying to be responsible, and if the company folds, what's going to happen to those accounts? Another bad thing that may happen is that you're probably going to have to wind up working with a lawyer. And a lawyer, normally you would want to make sure is in a state level, and you're probably going to have fewer options, as there's not as many lawyers who are in the debt settlement / debt resolution industry that you're going to be able to turn to. So a lot of people have a bad stigma with lawyers, so I put that under the bad category. I actually think it's a pro, because a lawyer is bound by the laws of the state bar where they practice. So I think it's a good thing. The ugly of all of this is, you're going to have to go with an attorney, like I already said, and really the big ugly that nobody's talking about is what happens to the clients who are already in a program. And I just want to make sure that if you are looking for help where you're trying to get out of debt for a percentage of what you owe, you need to be going with a program that has an attorney, because they're not going to be as affected by this law that they're trying to pass as a normal debt settlement company. So You also want to make sure that you are working with an attorney in your state. I've spoken with a lot of people over the years, and people say, "Well, they're an attorney." Well, if they're an attorney in California and you live in Nebraska or Ohio or New Jersey, they can't practice in your state. It's pointless that they're an attorney. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So you always want to make sure you're dealing with an in-state attorney. So I just wanted to kind of give everybody what my thoughts were on the new legislation, and let you know if you need help or if you're unsure of what you need to do. This is what I do for a living. I help make sure people are pointed in the right direction. My direct line, I'm not going to say it because if too many people are calling, I'm going to remove or at least block my phone number here on this slide. So if you can see it right now, by all means, feel free to give me a call there. And if not, that's probably because I've just gotten too many phone calls off of this, and I had to at least block it for a little while in order to catch up. I do want to make sure that I help everybody who gives me a call. And if my phone number is not there and you're still looking for help, go ahead, and if you look below this video, you'll see two links. One is for Free Debt Exam, which is a website that I created, and the other one is for Debt University, which is also a website I created. And Debt University is kind of like an overall course on how to get out of debt. And Free Debt Exam is basically a website where you just answer a couple yes or no questions, and it'll tell you what program is best for your situation. So if you want the Cliff Notes, take the Free Debt Exam. If you're looking for the whole course, go and join Debt University. Hope you guys have learned something here. And like I said, if you need help, please seek it out. There are people out there who want to help you and make sure you're pointed in the right direction. Have a good day.